Hey, what's going on, family? Welcome, Pay the Artist Club. Uh, Appreciate you tuning in, watching this video, and actually implementing what I'm talking about in this video. That's the thing, right? Gotta actually use the information you're given. If anything, just to sharpen your perspective or get a new one, or just further solidify the one you already got. Either way, constantly pushing, constantly challenging. So, what I wanted to talk to you about on this talk was one of the things that's going to set you apart as an artist, even if you're not looking to move up like traditionally in the art world, even if you're just one of the artists that are totally happy, totally content with just being able to sell enough art to make a living as an artist. That's fine as well too. The ideal situation, I think, is both, but you might not want to be in galleries, you might not want to be in museums, you might not want to win awards, you might not want to, be the next Kehinde Wiley and do something for a president or something. Like, you might not want those things that come with moving up inside the system. You might just want money, which is cool as well. I ain't got a problem with either or. But either way, there's a million of you. It's a million artists, unfortunately. I fall in the categories, and it's a million of me as well. As far as being an artist. So what is going to make you different? What is, going to get you seen? The biggest thing is your artistic voice. So I wanted to talk to you about identifying your unique voice, first and foremost. Definitely several benefits to identifying that. You might have it and you might not know you have it, but then if you don't know you have it, you're probably not using it properly or as frequently or as loud as you could be. You might have a voice, but it might just be a whisper. So we have to figure out what that is, but it's going to benefit you because it's going to set you apart from other artists. Can really help you develop a distinct style if you currently didn't have one. And that consistency of that distinctness is going to make you recognizable to viewers. It's going to start to actually build your brand and, get you a name. And attract a specific audience. So it gets easier as well, too. If you have that voice, you know who's listening to that voice, right? Also allows you to express your individuality. And just kind of not be all over the place. Not that you can't have range, you should have range. You shouldn't always do the same thing, but you also don't want to do so much that nobody knows what you do. That's also not a good thing. And if you do so many things, how can you possibly do anything good? Actually, I heard somebody make the argument about the Cheesecake Factory and the whole don't take nobody to Cheesecake Factory on a date thing. And the young woman just was like, Cheesecake Factory has so many options, so many things on the menu that they can't possibly all be good because you just do too much. So doing things over and over and over and over and over is what makes you an expert at it. I say Bruce Lee, beware of the man that is does the same kick 1,000 times versus the man that does 1,000 kicks one time. So yeah, you can do some other kicks as well, but you want to have that one down. You want to have that voice, that kind of like that main thing, right? And it can definitely create opportunities for collaboration. Collectors like that, curators like that. It makes it easier for them. It makes you a safer bet as well. So we want to make sure that we do that. So how do we do that? First, analyze what it is that you're already doing, right? Look and see what is it that sets you apart from other artists. If you can't figure it out, ask somebody. There's other people in the group, ask somebody would they be willing to help. If they're willing to help, you can send them a couple of images and they can give you their opinion. I would do it from, multiple people and kind of see what's the consensus if you're not able to identify what it is yourself, right? See what that consensus is. Determine what sets you apart. Now, it could be in your process as well, which we will be able to exhibit or explain more in our art writing. So when we're applying for different things, you know, we have our art statement and all of that, like that will be in there if that's the only thing that makes you different. If it makes you different, you definitely want it in there. If it's the only thing that makes you different, you definitely want it in there, period. But if you had a style that makes you different, or, you know, a perspective that makes you different, or, you know, where you combine different techniques or whatever that makes you different, then that'll be an added bonus on as well. But at the very least, you can definitely use your creative process, or even the way you come about deciding what it is that you want to create. That in itself can be unique too. So there's always something that we can use, and we can spend. A lot of the people that are going to give you the bigger money for your art and art endeavors are going to see the art afterwards, or maybe not see the actual art at all. They might need some examples of what you created, but maybe this is something to create something new. So they don't know what you're actually going to do, but they need to understand what it is that you do before they decide they want you to do it. That's the way it go. I didn't make it up. That's the way it go. They're going to ask you for examples. They're going to ask you what your plan is. They're going to ask all this stuff. I don't feel out enough to know. They're going to do it. So figure out what that is. Get your art writing better. It's going to get your art money better, right? So your experiences can set you apart. The styles can set you apart. Your culture can set you apart. Which could be some experiences. It could also be some things that you're exploring, especially if you're like first generation American from, you know, your family's from like another culture, another country or something like that. So you're very American and not as tied into some of those festivities and activities and, you know, just ways of life that culture has. You exploring that could be part of that as well too. Like there's I did which actually I got to do another one now I'm thinking about it, on the 2nd of December, but I did a Zoom with an art group in India, which kind of sucked because it was like 6 a.m. my time. But and like one of the artists was really, like, that was her thing. She was tying so many things from her culture, and it was like she was demystifying some spiritualism that they kind of, you know, had and stuff. And like all this was in the art, and she included symbolism from the culture, all this, like all this was in the art. So the art is telling the story. You're learning about the culture while you're doing it. She's learning about things that she was disconnected from. Like what is your voice saying? What am I going to hear when I come and look at your art? Like that's what the artistic voice is about. Like, is it a humorous voice? Is it a, you know, deep thought provoking, you know, voice? You know, is it, you know, is it melancholy? Is it, you know, is it energetic? Like what is your artistic voice? Right now, style contributes into that voice, but what's that voice? That voice is the collection of those smaller elements that are into there, right? You know, what makes your perspective different contributes into the voice. It could be the same situation, but we all gonna have at least slightly different opinions on every situation, every topic that comes up. You know, dating, you know, people slapping people on stages, you know, genocide and war in other countries, and us fighting stuff that I'm like, what the hell is going on? I ain't signed up for nobody to go kill nobody, period. You know, especially not like that. It's like what makes your perspective different and what makes your expression distinct. I have a different, even if I have the same opinion with somebody else, how am I expressing that? How can I, if I didn't have words, how can I make my art say what I want to say? Right? How am I expressing that? That's what's making it different, right? So in terms of both professional success and personal fulfillment, you want to make sure you identify your unique artistic voice as a visual artist, particularly. It'll help you on your journey of self-discovery, first and foremost, and artistic growth. So think about an audio artist is an innumerable amount of singers, but the ones that you remember, the ones that stand out, the ones that get signed is because they have a distinct voice. Like I heard somebody, might have been yesterday or the day before, and beautiful singer, like she sung really well, and I'm trying to remember who she sounded like now. I'm trying to give you the example. I can't remember, of course, right? But she sounded exactly, like if I had not been watching the video, I would have thought it was this other person. So as good as that person is, they're not going to get a deal probably because they sound like somebody else. They don't have a unique voice. They got the same voice. Like it's damn near the same. Like we probably have to use a machine to separate, the differences in there. I don't think just your neck and ear can pick up on the differences. It sounds exactly like a famous singer. And maybe because she grew up hearing her and she just kind of adjusted to that, or maybe the voice is not as unique as we thought. It's not one of a kind, at least. It could be two in the world, but it's not one of a kind as we thought of at the time, because now we have this other version of it and it sounds exactly alike. Again, at least from the naked ear perspective. So you want to have a different voice, because that same voice, as talented as you might be, is not going to get you seen. You're not going to stand out. The beauty is, artistically, it's probably easier to change your voice than it is if you're actually talking to somebody and stuff. So you can tweak something to make it, more your own, to make it unique, versus if you were actually singing. But make sure you're leading at all times with what makes you stand out. And then once you figure out what that voice is that you want to have, now you're going to check for it in your work, and it's only not going to be there, intentionally. And there'll even be a reason for it not being there. It'll also help tell the story of why you left this out that you normally do in your other stuff as well. So if you don't have, if you scanned and you searched and you asked everybody else and you can't figure out what your unique artistic voice is, work on developing one ASAP. Need some more help? Hit me up. Steve Muse, Pay the Artist. Peace.